Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. Woohoo! I look like I've already been drinking. I haven't. I just walked into the room where my wife was performing dog abuse, making our dog into a little leprechaun, and I got caught up in it. So, yeah. Tip my hat to y'all. Happy St. Patty's Day. Let's dig into the news of the week. There is so much. I don't even know if I'm going to get through it all, but we will try. One of the things that Sheila mentioned on her show 2 days ago or yesterday, I don't know, was how do readers stay in the light when they're reading on such dark subjects. And there's a certain detachment that we have. The more we can detach, the better it is, the cleaner the reading. But there is a lot that we do to clean the energy before we start reading, many of us anyway. So it's just important to stay in that higher vibration during the day when we're dealing with all this news. And so many of us who are watching right now are tuned in and tapped in. And so, but we forget, we meaning me, forget that we need to tap in throughout the day to the higher source, to the higher energy. So wherever you're watching, thank you. Let's do a quick spiritual one card. Higher vibration. And let's just read on how do we stay in that higher vibration when things start turning ugly, turning beautiful. How do we stay in that higher vibration when all we look around us is beautiful? It's like, wow, this is amazing. This is so cool. How do we stay there without falling out? How do we get there when we're in the sewer? Let me keep the shine away. Beloved, radical acceptance. That's a tough one. Radical acceptance. What I'm hearing with this card is that it's just not a general acceptance. Oh, look how pretty the flowers are. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's so cool. But when we like rub up against a cactus and like we're poked with all these oh, I can't remember the name, cactus thorns. There's probably a specific name for them. But they get in you and you can't get them out, and you're like, duct tape, and you wrap duct tape on there and rip it off, and it's still in there, and you're going, oh my God. Well, how do you accept that thorn? The radical acceptance. How do we, if we're going to jump into the news here, how do we accept the negative news? And we hold it in our heart space, and it may like hurt a little bit, but there's a passion, there's a fire, and then there's a lot of dark space around there. So just it feels like we don't have to go along with it to accept it. It's just, it is what it is. kind of. And I hate saying that. I think that's one of the stupidest sayings I say a lot, along with whatever. That's another one that just rubs me so the wrong way. And guess who says it a lot? Me. All right, let's dig into the news because we got a lot. Radical acceptance. All right, I'm just going to keep going down here in whatever strikes my fancy. The deck I'm going to be using is the regular Rider weight deck. I'm looking at my other decks. I may use a couple intuitive decks. We'll just see where it goes. All right. So I'm going to try to break it down into just last week news, U.S. news, world news without Andrea. How can I even do that? But I'm going to probably get in trouble. But that's okay because I've been drinking since 5, so it's all good. Environmental news. Oh, that's probably Andrea going, you can't do world news without me. Arrest indictment news. That seems to be the big one. He's going to be indicted. Indictment watch. Ay, ay, ay. Just let it go. It'll happen when it happens. I want it to happen sooner, but it'll happen when it happens. A lot of the astrologers were even saying it could happen this week. So let's just look right into that, because that seems to be on everybody's mind. So, I woke up, before I started drinking and looked at the news because I could at least read. Now I can't, but okay, sorry. Okay. And I opened up the news pretty quick this morning, just going, did anybody get indicted? Pootie has an arrest warrant. What is it? The ICC, International Criminal Court, isn't that where Jack Smith worked? Issued an arrest warrant for Pootie for war crimes. Yay! It's like, for God's sakes, it's about time. Jeez. Cheez-Its and rice. Anyway. Good. Now, Pootie's, when I let he go, oh yeah, that's really going to hurt him. He's just laughing. Hee hee. I'm like, oh yeah. So, who else got arrested? Well, this kind of goes into world news, I think. Did I write this down? Oh, please, did I? I wish I could push pause on this, but I don't. Oh, here it is. So the DOJ arrested the Chinese billionaire Gu Wingy. Okay, we're just going to call him Bannon's buddy. Bannon's boat buddy, because I can't pronounce his name. Bannon's boat buddy. So Bannon is friends of this guy, this Chinese billionaire, and there was a picture of Bannon on his buddy's boat. And in 2020, the feds actually went on the boat on Gu's lot, Lady May, and they arrested him for defunding the donors of $25 million in the We Build the Wall. So he and Bannon have been doing a bunch of stuff, creating some media outlet things, and social media platform. I don't know what they've been doing. Just a bunch of crazy right-wing political action groups. They even started one that was named the New Federal State of China. And it funded CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference in Washington last month, according to this report that I have. Like, what the hell? Bannon was involved with it. Really? Oh, and as I cut the deck, I get the moon card. So when I read this, I thought, okay, so Bannon has been, he was pardoned by Trump for these shenanigans. And I can say shenanigans because it's St. Patrick's Day. And I know some of you go, if you're going to say shenanigans, put that green hat on. No, I'm not going to do it. Okay. I started this video about 10 times with that green hat on, trying to make it not as goofy as it is. Anyway, Bannon, is he going to get a new charge against him? I think yes. Let's see what the cards say. I think yes. Is Bannon going to get a new charge against him? Be indicted for something new in relationship to this, to his boat buddy being arrested. His boat buddy. Ooh, this fell out. Queen of Cups. There's some interesting that I had the moon card fly out, and then this one flew out, the Queen of Cups. You know, it feels like, you know, they're playing it so cool. Yeah, we got a couple of secrets. We got a couple of secrets hidden in that cup. So is that them being, yeah, we got some secrets, or is it the DOJ? Yeah, we got some secrets in that cup. Let's pull 6 and see what we get. Oh, somebody's going on a new journey, going back to a simpler time. That isn't good for somebody. Oh, so sorry. Oh. Okie dokie. Let me drop this down and you can see what I'm looking at. Can you see that? Okay. Let me move this out of the way. So with the Rider-Waite deck, we're talking about Bannon. Is he going to be indicted? Is there going to be a new indictment because of the DOJ's arrest of his boat buddy? And we have a new path forward with the Fool card. New path, going back to a simpler time. They're reviewing, the Department of Justice is reviewing some of the things that happened on the We Build the Wall and this new Chinese foundation things. And they're going, what the hell? Somebody's wall is get shattered. And it's going to be a little sad. It's going to be a little sad. Maybe it was a little sad what the DOJ found out, or because it feels like this is the Department of Justice case. So they're cracking it open. They're sad what they found out, and they're shining a light. And this Hermit card. Let me go a little deeper into that Hermit card. Because a lot of time that's introspection, that's silence, that is shining a light on something. Oh, that one flipped way over full. I mean, that just flew out so much. What they're looking at, what they're shining their light on is kind of big. And if you just look at the 3 cards that we have here in the center, all major arcanas: Judgment, New Beginning, Tower. And it's being challenged. Can we please just like ignore it and go back to a simpler time, because it's making it's making the boat buddies just a little sad. Whatever this hermit is looking at is huge. It's really big. It's that Queen of Cups energy. Let's keep going with that. Give me 3 cards, please, just to explain a little bit what this hermit card is all about. Oh, angry. Oh, okay. Well, the future is not yet written yet, but this hermit is standing on white, and that is the higher chakra, the intuition. In jail, in what? In anger. It's funny that you got anger out of this hermit card, who seems so peaceful, White. The color white is peaceful. Okay. So putting all this together, these cards in angry, not yet written, but white. And white to me is the higher chakras, the higher knowledge, the judgment card. It's full. Their information is full, and they're going to lash out at this. And I'm sure they already have. I'm sure they already have said that it's some kind of deep state where we need to defund all the DOJ and blah, 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 blah. It's the same, it's just the same playbook that we've been through in the beginning of World War II, it feels like. All right, let's move on. A couple of bank failures. We read on those a little bit. Well, a lot. I don't think that we're in huge financial trouble, but we are in some kind of trouble with it. We're going to be able to deal with it. Why? Because we're throwing billions and billions of dollars at it. So we're going to get out of it, okay? But and it's funny how the Republicans spin this to wokeness. And I went, I'm kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I need a drink. Every day I feel like I need to wake up with a drink, the way our news cycle's going. But the Republicans are saying, and here's a quote. This is so crazy. How did they spin wokeness in it? So they're talking about regulation and deregulation, and the Republican message is kind of on both sides. We need to have some regulation. No, we need to have less regulation on it. But they said who is it? The Wall Street Journal, in an opinion piece. This guy, Andy K., wrote, but the company may have been distracted by diversity demands. And he was talking about their board. It's made up of 91% of the board being independent. I'm assuming politically, I guess. I don't know what that means, independent. 45% are women. Oh, for God's sakes. They have one black and one LGBTQ+. If you have one plus, wouldn't that be two? Okay, sorry. Oh, they also have two veterans. What the hell? And it's woke. They may have been distracted by all that diversity. I'm just like, really? Is that where you're going to go? Okay, well. So the woke is underlying the future direction of the banks. Very good. The other thing is we found out is one of the banks was that failed Signature. I don't know if it has failed yet. I think they got bailed out. But one of their board members in the early 2010s, 2010 and 15 or something, Ivanka Trump, who I guess lent a bunch of money to Daddy. Well, that woke me up. Not really. Anything that has to do with the Trumps seems to have some kind of grift to it. Okay. Speaking of grift, I guess there is, the DOJ is looking into another grift where Truth Social got $8 billion from a close buddy of Putin. So they're looking into that, going, really? Really? Okay. What else are we going to look into? Because the DOJ is looking into that, the House Republicans said, you know what, we're not going to look into Trump's finances anymore. Instead, we're going to look into Hunter Biden's finances. Who's a more important player in the United States? The president or the president's son? I can see them being kind of tied together, but if you're going to look into family members, you might as well look into all the family members. Okay, what else? So the House Republicans. We'll just stay on that a little bit. Barry Loudermilk. He is going to investigate January 6th. And he's going to tell a fair and balanced story of January 6th. And he's going to get Nancy Pelosi to testify why the security was so weak on January 6th. Yet he wouldn't answer the question why he was giving a tour of the Capitol before January 6th. I think it was like the day before, when there were no tours in the Capitol because of COVID. Want to answer that question, Barry? What else? And it's just all, this is just news. What else? Yeah, it was January 5th. A day before January 6th, he gave a tour, and one of his family members, his tour was screaming on camera on January 6th in the Capitol. All right. George Santos, speaking of boat buddies, oh my God, George Santos. Okay, so if you care, if you remember, George Santos got all this money to run for Congress. And they're going, where'd you get all this money? And he goes, he came up with a couple of stories. I can't remember them all. Now his story is that he became a boat broker. He was selling mega yachts. And he goes, my commission on one of those yachts was $200,000 to $400,000. Yikes. I'm telling you what, I wouldn't buy a Yugo from that guy. How do you start this thing, George? Well, let me put my thinking cap on. Oh my God. Now, boat brokers, this is kind of funny. Not funny. It's kind of sad. You can buy $1 million boat, $2 million, $5 million, which isn't that big, right? So we're not talking the boats where you really should have a captain. But you can buy a 40-foot yacht, $5 million. And what the boat broker does is goes, these are kind of the systems that you got. They'll run it through you, give you like a half a day to run through the systems. Sometimes it could be longer. Depends on the guy buying it. Then they hand you the keys. See ya. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya in that new boat that you don't know how to drive. And these knuckleheads, well, I shouldn't call myself that, will get into the boat and just start going. I had a buddy of mine, acquaintance of mine, who bought one of these boats and he built it. He had this boat built and picked it up in San Diego. And I'm watching him on his, when he pulls into the slip where we had our little boat. And, oh my gosh, he was playing ping pong. Bang, 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 bang. Brand new boat. And another guy who put the boat on autopilot, ran right into Catalina. Well, I thought it would stop. Okay. Let's move on. Because I got so much stuff and I get so squirrely. We had environmental news. The Willow Project, Biden selling oil leases to ConocoPhillips, the indigenous people up in Alaska, pluses and minuses. It's going to give us good jobs. It's going to mess up the environment. We'll see where all that goes. Personally, I think that we're too connected to oil to just shut it off right away. We need to have a plan to move us forward, to move us out of this. We don't. I just wish that there were more people being forward-thinking in this instead of reactionary. But that's where we are right now. It's going to change, but that's where we are right now. And what else? There was something else. Minnesota. 400,000 gallons of radioactive wastewater from the nuclear power plant up in Xcel Energy's Montecillo nuclear energy power plant. The company said, no danger. No danger to the public. Okay, again, we're not looking at, well, is there danger? Yes, there is. Come on. Come on now. You know, they just spin this any way they want. You know, it's until we can let go of that money thing. All right, the other environmental news, and I don't, I don't think it's going to. Let's just look. 3 cards. How bad is this? How bad is this environmental spill? Leak of 400,000 gallons of radioactive water. How bad is that? For the local community. How bad is that for the local community? And then you really need to narrow it down to humans, to trees, to air, to water, to fish. But we'll just do a general. How bad is it to the local area? To all those living in the local area. Well, there's going to be a lot of government. Oof, dang. Okay, no tower card, which is good. We're going to have a little bit of legal action on this. The government is definitely going to step in, and it's going to cost a ton of money. Someone's going to pay a lot of money. This is a family card, the 10 of Pentacles. So I'm seeing that. Even though it's right next to the government, I think the government is going to tell the family, the company, they need to pay up. They need to pay for this. We'll see. We'll see. Florida environmental. Red tides. Let's go look at red tides. There's a huge red tide bloom, an algae bloom that can affect both the maritime, marine organisms and humans. It is, I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to. It's a brevetoxin that can affect the central nervous system of fish and other vertebrates, causing these animals to die. I like the way they say other vertebrates. Who else would be another vertebrate? Well, certainly some of the Republicans, they don't have a spine. So I guess they're safe. But the other things that do have a spine, you're in trouble. Wave action can break up this brevetoxin and release these toxins into the air, leading to respiratory irritation. And again, it's only to the spined. The spineless, you're fine. So, and are you seeing, I don't know if this is translating to the Republicans or not, but in Democratic circles, DeSantis is getting pounded, and it's like, I'm like, is he even gonna run? I hear yes, but because he's going to survive the, what is it called? The brevetoxin. Whatever. He thinks he has a spine. So, is this, how is this red tide in Florida? How bad is it going to be? Money. I'm going to keep going with this because King of Pentacles, money. Knight of Wands. Somebody's going to come in and offer some kind of solution to this. but when I looked at this, it wasn't like, oh, they're going to create magic. I'm going, they're going to pray for some magic. That's kind of what I'm getting. When I said I'm going to keep going with this, the 2 cards down below, it's going to be huge loss to Florida, and it's going to cost a lot of money to clean up. And when I look at this whole reading as a whole, it feels like they're gonna have to get some scientists out there that really kind of understand this, because you can't get rid of it by adding something to the water that'll kill it, like a chemical or an invasive. The chemicals are what's kind of causing this, I think, with nitrates, the runoff into the Gulf. So they may want to get some kind of magic potion. Maybe there's an invasive species, but but then you got to deal with the invasive species, i.e. the lionfish down in Florida. Also, what else is down in Florida that's invasive? Okay, don't go there. I'm talking, I think the boa, python, the python, maybe the boa too. Iguanas, I mean, yeah. Florida man. I didn't say that, did I? He's not an invasive species. When he comes to California, he is. All right, let's keep going. World news without Andrea. Oh, this is not going to be as good as with her, but bear with me. So we had nuclear-powered subs being sold to Australia and in the United Kingdom too. I believe OCPAC is, all 3 of those are going to be buying nuclear-powered subs. So it's not nuclear subs, nuclear-powered subs. But I'm like, well, wouldn't you be able to outfit those with nuclear weapons? Yeah, probably. So that happened, which I read on it on Monday, I guess. But today I read that the U.S. agreed to sell Australia, how many? It was crazy number. 220 Tomahawk missiles that you put in the submarines and shoot off. And when I read that, I went, where's the woke crowd on naming that Tomahawk missile? Just saying. What else? The Pentagon's budget is $25 billion more than 2023. And that's in peacetime. Doesn't feel like we're in peacetime. But the government says that, the military says that we need it for the China threat, Russia, blah, 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 blah. And it feels to me as somebody who wants peace, more weapons are not the answer. It just feels backwards to me. So, let's do a 411 on all this military spending. You may want to fast forward. I got a bad feeling about this. What's a 411 on all this military spending? You've got North Korea shooting off intercontinental ballistic missiles. You've got South Korea and the U.S. playing war games. Japan is getting into it. It's like we haven't even talked about the Middle East. Syria, LB, whatever his name is now talking to China and Russia. Oh my God. Where is this going? So, all this military buildup, is there a way, what's the 411 on it? And then I want to ask, is there a way to de-escalate? What's the de-escalation? 411 on this military buildup. 6 cards. Huh. Really? There's a bunch of fighting going on. But, so far, fingers crossed, it isn't the 5 of Swords. It's just like, I'm bigger than you are. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, what I'm hearing is some people are going to get hurt because they are not spending their money wisely. The Queen of Pentacles, very similar in my view to the 9 of Pentacles. Somebody who knows how to manage money. That's being crossed by all the fighting. At the base of it, geez, it's the 9 of Wands. Defending yourself, still standing after being beat up. In the past, as it relates, is the Queen of Wands. She is the smarter, the more rational, the forward-looking, passionate woman. The top of the reading is the 7 of Wands. We gotta have bigger military to defend ourselves. Luckily, so far, there's no Tower. There's no 8 of Wands. There is only the 9 of Pentacles. Should I go on? Yeah, real quick. Ooh. Okay. 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 I make myself laugh sometimes. So, what we have here, that's not a good card. But this is me. This is me. Yeah, that's how I dress when I go to sleep. I'm worried. This scares the crap out of me. So, we have all this verbal abuse, verbal fighting, saying, let's throw money at it. Let's create more weapons. But we got to be careful. We got to be smart with how we spend the money. At the base of the reading, what we are simmering in, marinating, stewing in, is the 9 of Wands, and it's all of the threats. And we're getting kind of hurt a little bit, a little bit. When we start extending ourselves, our poor drone got drenched with jet fuel. Do y'all see that? I mean, I think it was kind of cool that we could actually see that. But and Russia goes, it didn't happen. I go, oh my God. He's got a Trump lawyer. Didn't happen. In the past, as it relates, is the Queen of Wands. Forward-looking woman with the right idea, with passion. But there is a little mystery here. When I look at this card, what I'm being drawn to are the pyramids back here. In the past, there was a different way to deal with this aggression. And I'm getting a pull to the Galactic, so that's the deck I'm going to use next. Defending ourselves and be careful how we spend our money. And this woman, as I've said before, this Nine of Pentacles, listening to your intuition, and she is in this garden, in this protected garden, not really getting out, not really seeing the whole picture, the big picture. We are addicted to spending money on war. Something new is coming though. Something is externally. We have this Queen of Cups, a calming energy that's that's got a secret in that cup. I'm hoping that secret is going to be positive. Right now, hopes and fears, what's in the cup? We don't know yet. The High Priestess. Come on, what's in the cup? We're not looking at it. Four of Cups. We're being offered something. We're not really looking at what. This is kind of like a timeout. Don't be too rash. We got a new journey ahead of us, but we may misstep. We may misstep. The underline is partnerships. Knight in shining armor coming to rescue us. Yeah, be careful. We may have put him on too high of a pedestal. We have the Empress and the Hierophant. One more, and I'm turning it upside down. In the King of Swords. This could be warring. We need more swords, but that's the only one out of all this underlying information. It's all about coming to a partnership with the Empress. Could be Russia. This future, a woman maybe, or Russia coming to a partnership. And when I said that, why did I think Putin's leaving? So we're just being, I shouldn't have lifted those up right away, but I did. I guess it's time to move on from that. It just feels like we're spending money that we don't need to on the military in the future. Right now, maybe we do, but in the future, we get to change that narrative. And so let's just take a look at the galactic cards for the future of this crazy, crazy military spending. You know, they want to cut social spending, and they want to increase military spending, killing spending. Let's figure out better ways to kill people, and let's cut basic decency money. 50 minutes, yikes. I think I've only said 6 stupid things this video. And I don't know where they are, so I can't go back and edit them. So before we get into Galactics, thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing and liking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okie dokie. I am reading these right side up, even though they're upside down and right side up. These are all being read right side up. I have to clarify that, because if I read reversals, if one of the decks are mixed up, and I know I'm reading reversals, I'm good with it. If I get thrown and a card comes out reversed, I'm okay with one, but if 2 or 3, it short circuits my little brain. Galactic energy. How do we So asking the higher source, our galactic brethren, who have lived through these wars of Atlantis, Lemuria, how do we let go of the military spending? How do we let go of the military spending? How do we let go of the military spending? How do we live together? So I'm using my Galactic Heritage cards. The deck is here, let me hold this up in case you guys don't know. There is an app. Here's the book that comes with it. There is an app that you can get for $10. And it's a really good app that has all the card descriptions in it. And when we're talking about the vegans, I'm like, I don't know anything about vegans. I know things about vegans, but vegans? I don't know. So it really explains the history and the challenges and the successes of this type of person. So $10, you can get a lot more information than what I'm just giving you. What's the galactic message saying for us so that we can let go of the military spending and use that money towards good, towards social services, towards living together on the planet? And we got Vega, past, self-sacrifice. So what the Vegans learned in the past was all about self-sacrifice. I go back to the very first card that we had with the shamanic dream card, radical acceptance. And we have to sacrifice a little bit of what, and I'm not sure what that is yet. I don't want to give up anything. Even, you know where I was going to go. Those who watch me a lot. And if you're still watching, you're probably the people that stick around for when I say stupid Lamborghini jokes. It's being crossed by another past card, which is pioneering spirit, the Lyrans. Okay, I'm going to drop this down so I can focus on the cards. So here we have this, it's a double one, reminds me of the Fool card in a way. That's just the image I got in my head, where how we think of self-sacrifice as a bad thing, we need to move forward in a newer direction. It may not be self-sacrificing is a bad thing. That's just two cards. At the base of this is Black League Patterning, Orion in the past. And I read about the Black League Patterning and I can't really remember what it is, so we'll just stick with what does it mean to you, Black League Patterning? To me, it's let's buy more weapons. That is at the underline. But that's in the past. That's not serving us. Orion, that is the warlike. That is the fighting. That is at the base of this. We can't let that go. So many people are making so much money off of the weaponization of the world. In the past, as it relates, the message that we can bring forward to the future is living, what's it say? Living in the now. It's the cetacean, the dolphin. If we can imagine a parallel time stream, that, and we slip into that and we step out of the black league patterning into the parallel time stream of living in the now, the dolphin energy, where there is no weapons. There's still a little, dolphins aren't all that cute and cuddly. There is a lot of pluses and minuses, good and bad, with the dolphin energy. But it's a more balanced energy, it feels like. And at the top of the reading, we have our belief system. What is our belief system of the earth in the present? Well, it's like we need more weapons. That's what we're holding on to. And that's what he is holding on to. And look at his heart space. It's really, really teeny. It's a teeny, teeny heart. Until you look at the other circle and then you go, wow, no, it's really big. So what do we believe? Do we believe in a little teeny heart, or do we believe in a great big heart that envelops so much of who we are? And in the potential near future, the ultimate evolution. And this is Zeta Reticuli. It's the future. The future isn't, it's all about the evolution that we're going through. We have to do this black league patterning before we can start living in the now. We have to change our belief system from a small little heart to a huge heart that encompasses more than we know. And that's the evolution, the pioneering spirit. Cool. So to me, this suggests that we are going to get away from it. We just need to imagine it. We need to bring it into the now, into this time stream. Thank you. That was cool. All right, I'm not done yet. I know you think I am. I want to read on one of the things I said I was going to read on. There was two things. I wanted to read on the nursing situation in the health, but I think I'm going to leave that to another video. I'm going to read on Leonard Peltier for those of you who are still here. So we're going to go into an hour. What time is it? 58:25. Leonard Peltier. I'm going to timestamp that at least. Where are we? He was convicted, still in prison, for the deaths of 2 FBI agents who died during a 1975 shootout on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. And it feels like I've read on him before, but let's just do a 411 on him again, see what's going on. He's been in prison for over 29 years. This new evidence has come to light. The Eighth Circuit ruled there is a possibility that the jury would have acquitted Leonard Peltier. Looks like a French word. But I think he's Native American. But anyway. 99% sure he is. But there is a possibility that the juries would have acquitted Leonard Peltier had the records and the data improperly withheld from the defense been available to him in order to better exploit and reinforce the inconsistencies and strong doubts upon the government's case. Yet the court has denied Mr. Peltier a new trial. The judge who authored the decision denying a new trial has since voiced firm support for Leonard's release. I'm going to say Leonard because that's easier to say for me. Stating that the FBI used improper tactics to convict Mr. Leonard. The FBI was equally responsible for the shootout and that Leonard's release would promote healing with Native Americans. You can see where there is a huge mistrust on both sides for the FBI, the DOJ, and can't it be more transparent? Well, no, we have to keep it secret because it's an ongoing investigation. Yeah, okay. So the reason I'm reading this, Rita sent me this to ask me to read on it again. She goes, I've written the White House. I've written so-and-so. If we get enough people to write a letter to their congressman, to the Department of Justice, to the White House, to even Ms. Holland, the Secretary of Interior. Let's get this going. If you agree with what is being said, with what I just said, and with what these cards are going to say. What is going on? And even if the cards say he will be released, still right. Because we know what these cards say timing-wise. I don't want to say they suck because that would put a negative energy on the cards, but okay, timing. You are really good at timing. You are really good at timing. They just told me that's not what we're for. Okay. The AIM activist, Mr. Leonard Peltier, I think, oh, maybe I pronounced it right there. On Pine Ridge, convicted of killing 2 FBI guys. And when you read the story, it was like, the FBI went into him, into his space, into his land. If he would have bought some Tomahawk missiles, I bet it would have been different. But see, that's that whole shift in thinking. It's the whole, anyway, we got lots to learn. Mr. Leonard Peltier, 411, what's going on? Can you talk to me about, will you be released? How you doing? 29 years. Are people talking about you? We are. Are other people talking about you? Strength. I'm going to drop this down. You can see what I'm looking at. There we go. Should I pull the table up, make the cards bigger? Ooh. I love this table. Strength. So as we think of Mr. Leonard Peltier. Whether he has strength, whether he needs strength, what I'm hearing is for us to send him strength. An MBO. Send him love, send him light, send him strength. Knight of Wands. Oh, I kind of like this. Somebody coming in, not to save him. It's not the knight in shining armor to come and rescue him. No, there is no rescue. There is information coming that's going to add to that strength. Oh, Queen of Cups. In the past, the FBI was not looking at what was being presented. I mean, not the FBI. The courts were not looking at it. At the base of the reading, that information is still being hidden in a way. But that calming energy for the Queen of Cups, powerful. Blind justice. Blind justice. I know, it's a Two of Swords. There's a decision that needs to be made. And people are fighting back and forth. If you're woke, you're going to let them go. And if you're unwoke, if you're still sleeping, you're going to say, you know, the government's being soft. Unless you're, I'm just going down a rabbit hole, so I'm not even going to go there. There's a major decision that needs to be made. And for some, it's not easy. But you have the new truth. New Ace of Swords. New truth coming out. Internally, you have the Sun. Freedom. Riding naked on a white horse in the sun. Can't get any more free than that. And maybe that's what Mr. Peltier, that's the strength that we should be sending him, his freedom. We can't give it back. We can't give it back those 29 years, but still he can slip into another time stream if he chooses to. If we help him do that. This is what I'm hearing. Two of Cups, external influences. Two of Cups, Queen of Cups. There is a partnership that is going to bring calm, new truth, hopes and fears. The Magician. With intent, we can create magic. With intent of giving him strength. And the final outcome, I got to do two. The Hanged Man. And I can stick with one, but I'm going to do some clarifiers on this. This decision that they're making with the Two of Swords, do we stick with him staying in prison, or do we open it up and relook at this case? That's what this is all about. The Hanged Man is not necessarily pause. It's let's take a look at this from another point of view. The Lover's card. I think he's going free. Oh, heartbreak. Three of Swords. Okay. Clarification on that heartbreak. Because the way, you know, so this goes back to really being detached. I'm not. I don't even know this guy. I should be detached. It should not even bother me. But that's not who I am. I'm the guy sending him strength. I don't like seeing that card. But if you add those cards up, is this 29 years? They look at it from a different point of view. They find the love card. They let him go. And this heartbreak is the past, them not looking at things. I wish I would have gotten moving on to calmer waters. So let's just clarify, what does this heartbreak mean? Does this heartbreak really mean he's going to be suspended? He's still going to be stuck in jail? All these other cards, whoa. That flew out. That's good. That means he's moving on. Because all of these other cards were all about being positive, except this. This is just hurt. This hurts. This hurts too, not looking at you know, your what's being presented to you. Okay. A little more on this 3 of Swords. Oops, these are staying upright. Love, heart. I'm going to read these right side up, but because it did come out upside down, it's like those 2 are right there. From now on, I'm reading them right side up. There's a contract, there's a document, and we have fate, destiny, karma. Boy, that's hard to take. When you get in prison for 29 years, I'm still thinking, let me pull this up. I'm still thinking that he is eventually going to be set free. When I look at this, I feel a not healthy human. So whether you decide to send letters, whether you decide to send prayers, strength, comfort, let's do something. Let's make a difference in that one small chunk. And then while we're at it, there are so many people in this community that are walking around in pain and just they need an MBO. They need all the light beings out there in the world to just send them a little love, a little light, a little healing energy. So I'm going to leave on that. Thank you guys for watching. See you on Sunday if you show up. Bye. Peace and love.